It's another microphone. Hey guys, Funny Guy Timmy here for another microphone review. This is another one sent to me by a good friend, Jake Lester. Thank you again for sending microphones for review. These are beautiful, beautiful microphones, as well as many companies that I've never reviewed before. Like SE. I don't think I own or have ever tested an SE microphone. I don't think I've ever been in a studio of anyone else's that has ever had an SE microphone. So this is quite a treat. Let's go ahead and open this up. Now, first thing I gotta say is this is a beautiful case. Just an absolutely beautiful case. If you have a microphone and it comes with a case, you're lucky, because normally they just come in like little leather bags and they just fall everywhere. Oh, look at that. Look at that gorgeousness. Alrighty, so we're going to take this out. I'll get to the shock mount in just a second. Just put it down here. Oh, I'm so fat, squeezing my fat out my eyeballs. So here we go. We have the SE T2. And it is I think it's a dual capsule large diaphragm, because it has all these settings. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. If not, I'll just throw up a picture that'll show this right there. But it's got a whole bunch of switches, a whole bunch of settings across the bottom. So it has a dB pad, a -10 and a -20. So if it's really loud, you can take some of that off, and you can take even more off if you want. It has a roll-off or a cutoff for the low end right there, so you can cut it off very harshly or just kind of smoothen out the low end, kind of bring out the brightness of the voice. And then this is the complicated section right there. I don't know how well you can see that, but that is the complicated switch. So when it's all the way to this switch is all the way to the left, it is omnidirectional. And that is because of its dual capsules. I'm looking at that. Yeah, it looks like it has dual capsules. And so now it will pick up a lot more around the area. Basically all around the microphone. All the way to the left of the microphone, left to me, but right to you. It is figure 8, so that would be hearing on this side and this side, but not on the sides. Front and back, but not the sides. And put it back in the middle, and now it activates this switch on this side, and so now you can have it in cardioid, or I want to say it's super cardioid. Yeah, super cardioid, which means it narrows it in a little bit more. But we're going to start it out on the standard, none of these switches, and just standard cardioid. So let's bring out the shock mount right there. This is probably one of the most interesting shock mounts I've ever seen. At first, I had no idea how to attach the microphone to this shock mount. And to be honest, I'm still not positive that I truly understand it. But it's still a very interesting shock mount regardless. Oh, gotta tighten this up. That is it right there. And it just kind of cranes over. Now, this is actually surprisingly very small. A very small setup. It's actually not that big. It's a relatively small microphone for a technically large diaphragm that it's got in there. It's a rather small and very simple shaped and size microphone, despite the switches on the front, which are not that complicated. And even the shock mount is actually not that big. It's actually not that cumbersome. So if you had a small studio, which I think a lot of the people that I need to do a survey. I think a lot of the people that watch my channel have beginner setups or smaller studios. So this, despite the fact that this is pricing, we'll get to the price in a second, this might be a good choice if you're in a smaller space. Because my shotgun mic, it does take up a lot of room. It does take up some space. And, I mean, basically the tip of the back of the microphone is like full stretched out arm. So if I stretch out my arm from where I'm talking, this is like all the way to the end. So, you know, that there might not be that many situations where you'll actually have that much room around you, where full stretched out arms length, because you might need to like put together like a little tent, or you might be recording voiceover in a hotel However, I don't suggest taking this on the road. A little bit too expensive. Take something that you can, like, if you lost it, you may cry or be stressed for a second, but you'll eventually get over it. Unless you had something that's more expensive than this, I would recommend not taking this. But let's plug this in and let's see how that sounds. All right, so apparently this microphone needs a little bit more time. Like, once you hit the phantom power, it needs a little bit of time to, like, juice up. Maybe that's because it has 2 capsules and they're larger. I'm not an engineer. I don't know. But it did take a little while. As opposed to my shotgun, which the second you hit phantom power, that bad boy is on. I am stepping on that by accident. All right, so here we go. We have the SE-T2, and right now, basically the only switch that I have activated is the cardioid pickup pattern. Debating on whether or not I should have a pop filter, but I don't think it's necessary. What am I hearing? Yeah, there's really not that much noise. As if you guys watched the Rode NT1, there was a little bit of a kind of like a popping or tapping sound that was from the just a bad connection. This one doesn't have that, so that's good. I don't feel like this microphone is as bright as the NT1. Let me know what you guys think down below if you think I'm wrong or crazy or whatever, but it doesn't seem like it's as bright. I feel like this has more more presence, more bass, more lower frequency. So I feel like it's a little bit more rounded. It's very, very similar to my Sennheiser MKH416. I think it is still a little too bright. There is a little bit of a sharp S sound, but it's not as bad. It's not as bad as the NT1, which again, not saying that just because it's bright doesn't mean it's a bad microphone, just means that it would be better on different voices and different sources and in different environments. That's really all that means. So let's go ahead and turn on the supercardioid. All right, so there we have the supercardioid pickup pattern, and that actually does sound a lot more focused. It actually does sound more focused. It does sound a little bit better. I actually do kind of like the supercardioid. Let's listen. Cardioid. Cardioid's a little bit bassier. Supercardioid. Supercardioid maybe sounds a little bit more hollow, a little bit more focused, which isn't bad. If there's a little bit of noise in the background, then I think it would help, which I actually will be doing a noise test in a second. I'm not going to hit the omnidirectional or figure 8. Those are just those kinds of switches are normally meant for, like, if you were to use this for like a band or use it for multiple sound sources and you want it as kind of like an environmental sound, that's what it'd be for. Or to do some kind of 3D left and right stereo sound. I'm guessing that's what it'd be used for. It's not used for single voice. That's for dang sure. But yeah, let's go ahead and do a noise test real quick. Okay, and that was the supercardioid, so we're just going to put it back to cardioid. I think the noise floor is basically the same on both settings, so I don't really think that there's going to be any problem with that. I think that the supercardioid actually does help with noise rejection on either side, but as far as the self noise generated in either the microphone or the interface, it's basically the same, so it's not going to affect you there. I'm going to do a roll off or cut off. That was kind of a sharp adjustment sound. Okay, so now we've kind of cut off some of the lower frequency, so now we're focusing on the higher and mid frequencies. And it does sound brighter. It does sound brighter, but it's not that noticeable, really. It doesn't stand out that much. It may help a little bit if you were to have something that was if you were to have someone's voice that was a lot bassier, like Barry White, and it was just rumbling across the sound waves, and you're like, we need to cut off some of that low chest noise. You hit that, and it should take off some of that. Also, I think a lot of the cutoffs, roll-offs, attenuations, and all those kind of stuff, those, again, I think are mostly intended for instruments and microphones. Let's do it again on the little bit softer roll-off or cutoff. All right, so I don't know if it's me, but I kind of like that. It sounds a little hollow. It sounds a little like if we have the supercardioid and kind of the roll-off, it sounds a little too focused. Like, it sounds a little like this would be great for radio. Like radio, when you're literally just wanting the voice to go through and you're not wanting the voice to breathe in the environment a little bit. That would definitely be what you're going for. Also, you could, if you wanted to get closer to the mic, but you didn't want the bassiness to overwhelm, you'd hit that roll off and focus it a little bit more, and that way you would get the articulation in the voice without getting a lot of presence boost. This would actually be, if you're doing a radio show and you wanted it to sound like a classic radio show, this might actually be the microphone. This sounds really very, very classic radio. Very classic radio. It has that kind of crooner sound. I think this would be a really good singing mic for doing that kind of Sinatra, Nat King Cole kind of sound. It has that look and that feel to it. If I was to do any singing and I was to do like Michael Bublé kind of songs, I might go with this microphone. Is it for voiceover? I would say probably more for like commercial or like audiobook. I don't know if you could do it with character work because it does color the voice a lot. It does a lot of coloration to the voice, which when it comes to character work, you really don't want any kind of coloration. You want, if there's anything that needs to be done, you want the director, producer, or the sound engineer to do it on their end. You don't want to add anything that they have to take away later. You just want it to be even and flat, very detailed, clear, and, no noise. That's really all you want. And also to not peak or whatever. So, anyway, I'm going to switch this back to the regular setting. Everything sounds fine. Okay, so anyway, let's see. What was the price on this microphone? Let me look that up real quick. All right, yeah, this microphone looks to be running around $500 pretty evenly, pretty standard, pretty across the board, pretty much across the board. So it's a pricier microphone, but if this is the sound you're going for, if you think this sounds good for you and would sound good on your voice, again, I have kind of a brighter, sibilant voice, so maybe not for me, but if you think this is good for you, details to the microphone will be down in the description. Check that out. Again, big thanks to Jake Lester for lending me this microphone. Huge, huge thank you. This is a beautiful, beautiful microphone, and I can't wait to see what else he has in store, because these all seem to be absolute gems. If you guys liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Totally fine. Subscribe if you're new, bell for notifications, and if you'd like to see me test any other microphones or have any questions or suggestions, leave those down in the comment section below. Again, check out the microphone in the details, and until next time, peace!